accident in turn 4. They have taken Scott to Methodist Hospital for observation. He apparently was hit by a tire during the accident, hit in the helmet. And so they want to take him in for observation. Here's the pole sitter, Scott Brayton, in. And
coming in too slow, and there comes
bad
the hook,
news.
Paul.
Collins coming off.
We imagined that they might have troubles with the Menards, but they've kept going. It's just that they've been wounded, so to speak, and have been dropping back for this reason or that reason.
So if this is a serious problem, and it appears to be, Arie Luyendyk will be the hope, and he currently runs in 15th. There's the Danny Sullivan car. Sullivan runs in 4th right now. Let's go down to Gary Gerald to get an update on Scott Brayton.
Paul, we just arrived on the scene looking around the corner. He's still in the car, but they're pulling all the bodywork off. As you mentioned, what they do in these situations, it's usually an electronics problem that they're chasing, and they're working in the vicinity on the right side pod as if that might be the case. Sonny, any indication of the problem, Sonny?
Not yet.
Sonny Meyer, who builds these engines, the Menard, with all that horsepower, still shaking his head. He doesn't know.
Sonny out of Louis Meyer's family, the first 3-time winner of the race. So we watch Sullivan.
Remember that Danny Sullivan won this race back in 1985. He spun and yet went on to win the race. He was out of IndyCar racing last year. It's a terrific comeback that he has been able to make this year with the Pac West team, which was new last year, but is really coming to its own this year.
On board with Robbie Gordon as he makes a move on Danny Sullivan. It's a battle for 4th, and Robbie Gordon moves into 4th. He gets around Danny Sullivan.
Keep it on, keep it on.
You can also see how wide that Robbie Gordon went as he went under Danny Sullivan. He didn't even get on the rumble strip. Robbie's normal group around here is a lot higher than the other guy.
So Robbie Gordon moves forward into 4th place. You heard Derek Walker, the team owner, congratulate him on their two-way communications. He's been trying to insist that Robbie move forward as quickly as he can now and stay in touch with the leaders. He's doing just that.
And just remember that Derek Walker was the crew chief that masterminded many of Rick Mears's come from behind victories here. We might be seeing something like that again.
Dwayne Sweeney has just shown the field the cross flags indicating the halfway point, the 250th mile, the 100th lap of the Indianapolis 500, 79th running. Gugelman is the leader.
Robbie Gordon's really on the move. As he comes 2-3, I noticed he just pulled Danny Sullivan by quite a bit. So he's probably getting his car handling a lot better. He's definitely moving faster, Paul.
Andrew Ribeiro runs in 2nd, Scott Goodyear 3rd, then Robbie Gordon. There he is. Gordon looking so very strong now.
Gordon won at Phoenix just 8 weeks ago. That was his first Indy.
Goodyear's next. Goodyear's the guy you're chasing. About 7 seconds ahead.
So Derek Walker is just giving Robbie Gordon an update on who to look for. He just said that Goodyear, the 3rd place car, is next. And Sullivan and Christian Fittipaldi now battle. This is a battle for 5th. Danny Sullivan, the car on the left, is in 5th. That's Christian Fittipaldi, another rookie here and teammate to Robbie Gordon, as he runs in 6th. And Scott Brayton, whatever the problem was, they think they may have it fixed, and he heads back into the fight, but well down in the order.
Sullivan, as you can see, has been slowing and is having trouble coming off the turns fast.
Let's update the situation on Brayton. Gary?
John Menard, were you able to determine what the problem was?
No, we changed the spark box and the ECU and everything we could find, but we're not sure if we fixed it or not. I'll know here shortly when he goes out.
He also had indicated, Paul, that there was a possible valve spring that may have been broken.
Well, it acted like either that or like the spark box or something like that was bad. So we changed everything we could. Of course, if it's a valve spring, there's nothing we can do about that. So.
Absolutely. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
So we'll keep an eye on Brayton. His teammate Luyendyk runs in 15th place. The race is now at the 103rd lap. Whatever happens now, it is an official running of the Indianapolis 500. Right now, Mauricio Gugelman owns the thing.
Was the race analysis after 100 laps. For all of you entered in the Valvoline Indy 500 Race to Riches contest who correctly guessed the leader, please call the 800 number now for your chance to win. Good luck.
Here's the Valvoline race summary after 100 laps. Mauricio Gugelmin was the leader. The average speed well down off a record owing to the cautions. 5 different leaders, 9 lead changes. We've had 4 cautions, accounting for 30 laps, and 9 cars are already out of the race. Now, the stories that we talked about, first of all, the cars out. These all as a result of those at the first turn. Carlos Guerrero, Lynn St. James, Scott the Farron, Eric Bachelard, Buddy Lazier. And these are the rest of the cars out, the most recent, of course, being Michael Andretti. What a sad tale that has become. And now the stories that we mentioned at the start of the day. First of all, the engines, keeping track of the Menards and Honda. Well, there are 2 Hondas right now in the top 3, and Scott Brayton has a problem. His teammate, Arie Luyendyk, is running 15th. Secondly, the competition between the tire companies, the Stone. Then the wide open competition. Well, 5 different leaders, 9 changes, and some very unusual names. We've seen some second-year drivers in the top of the order. The weather remains just perfect for racing. And the pit strategy, well, Michael Andretti hit the pits. That took him out.
And to add one more story, it's a field day for Brazil with Brazilians 1st, 2nd, and 5th right now.
This is the 50th year, by the way, that a Goodyear blimp has appeared at the Indianapolis 500, giving you these great shots of the main straightaway as they come across the yard of bricks and that white finish line that everybody cherishes at lap 200. Let's go to the pits and Jack Arute.
Well, Paul, one of those Brazilians that Sam Posey talked about is rookie Andre Ribeiro, who is running in 2nd spot. But he has reported in that he may have ingested something into the radiators because of the fact that the water temperature has begun not only to escalate, to get up right by the pin where it could begin to overheat and create problems. But you see the computers here? That's all the onboard telemetry, and all the Honda engineers have been monitoring it very closely. The window is open for a pit stop. If he has taken on some debris, they'll be able to brush it back out, and that should, and we say should, cure the problem.
As we went to Jack, you saw Eliseo Salazar move around Sullivan and into 6th. Now Sullivan has his hands full because Jimmy Vasser and Bobby Rahal, you're on board with Rahal now, lined up right behind him. Here's how the rookies are looking today with the fastest rookie, Andre Ribeiro, running in 2nd place, Christian Fittipaldi having a good race, and Eliseo Salazar just making that great pass on the 85 winner, Danny Sullivan.
You know, Paul, another thing, I've been watching the speeds of some of these cars, like mid-race type of thing. The fastest guy has been Scott Pruitt.
Jimmy Vasser moves out and around Danny Sullivan, and Vasser moves into 7th place.
Started to say that Scott.
Now Rahal's going to try him, Bobby.
Boy, I saw that. My Lord, they're good. They're really having a dogfight right in the middle of the race now. Anyway, Scott Pruitt's running 219 miles an hour. That's really fast. Then we have some other cars that are running like 216, like Villeneuve, really moving up.
Rahal, as Guerrero came sliding in there. Not a move for position because Guerrero's actually sitting down a lap, but boy, he's trying to get his lap back as he came around Rahal and stuck his nose into the middle of the battle between Rahal and Sullivan. Guerrero, the white 21 car.
It just shows you if you lift off the throttle even for a second, this is how much momentum you lose.
And as we watch the cars going around the track right now, remember, about mid-race is when the track is as slippery as it gets. It gets real bad early, and then it gets better as the race goes on. Let's go to Jack.
Well, Paul, Scott Pruitt is being shown in the 13th position. Here's the first pit strategy. Do you see the tires sitting on the wall? They're not going to change tires. It's a stop-and-go, fuel-only pit stop. They think this could get them further up in the field because race traffic is so difficult to circumvent. They tap the fuel man, they fill the tank up, and he's off and away.
There's that.
Scott Pruitt came in 14th, out in 16th.
The idea is that, there's Eliseo Salazar. The idea is that those Firestone tires can really last through several pit stops. That's the hope anyway.
I just wanted to mention while we're watching Salazar in the pits here, people wonder why the track gets better later in the race. It's because of fluid that leak out of the car all slowly gets soaked back in. So the track gets worse as the race starts, then after that it gets better.
So Gugelmin is the leader of the race while most of the cars begin making their stops now. Let's go to Jack Arute.
Andre Ribeiro, your second place runner with the Honda Firestone package. And you see the crewman is actually looking in, trying to scrape away the radiators, and they have indeed pulled away some debris that would have accounted for the 17.2 seconds for Andre Ribeiro.
And keep in mind, those radiators are just as small as they can possibly be because that's straightaway speed. So any debris that gets in there hurts the cooling system.
Jack, from where we sit, we can see debris on the outside of several of the turns. The track's as messy as I've ever seen it, and I think we might have this situation afflict other cars as well before the end of the day.
Andre Ribeiro came in 3rd, dropped down to 7th during his stop, showing you how critical those pit crews are with traveling speed at 220 miles an hour. The cars are every second going the length of a football field plus, well over 100 yards. There's the leader, Mauricio Gugelmin. Scott Goodyear is 2nd. Robbie Gordon, with everybody falling out on pit stops, has moved up into 3rd place. Christian Fittipaldi is 4th, and Jimmy Vasser is now in 5th.
That's really been some good planning on Derek Walker's thing, getting Robbie Gordon all the way back up to 3rd place. It's amazing. We almost rode him off not too long back.
Well, and he's keeping his cars right together, Bobby. His cars are in 3rd and in 4th. So expecting a stop by this car, the Pac West car of Mauricio Gugelmin. Danny Sullivan is his teammate, the 85 winner who runs in 15th right now. He's made his turn now onto the pit road, this on the 116th lap.
Watching the speed limit.
And now as Gugelmin comes to a stop in front of Jerry Punch.
You heard Leo Mill say that all but 4 cars have switched to the backup tire. 2 of those 4 cars are the Pac West machines of Gugelmin and Sullivan. They are staying with the primary tire because of the tire wear on the right rear. Excellent fuel mileage. They have changed 4 tires. They finished the fueling. He is down and away. 15.2 seconds for the Brazilian on his pit stop.
And that spraying that they do at the car when it leaves is water. Water dissolves the alcohol, stops any chance of fire, in case people wonder.
So they decided it's dangerous to change tires mid-race. Scott Goodyear picks up the lead. Gordon is now in 2nd place.
There's Goodyear in the car on the left.
Scott Goodyear with his teammate right there with him.
Remember that this team of Steve Horns is all new for this year, a derivative of their Indy Lights team, the Tasman team.
So Scott Goodyear back in front, the Indianapolis 500 in car 24. We'll return with more of the Indianapolis 500 after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Wide world of sports.
We're back live in Indianapolis. The temperature is 78 degrees, but look down at the bottom at the track temperature, 120 degrees. That doesn't help the grip at all. And the winds out of the south at 21 miles an hour have been blowing quite a bit of debris onto the racetrack, pieces of paper and the like. That's a concern to all the crews, because if they get ingested in the front of those coolers and stop the cooling process in the engine, they can cook an engine in no time. Ribeiro was into the pits. He stalled while he was there. Now he's trying to get out onto the track.
We watched him when he came by here, Paul. He was very slow. Look at him. He wants to pull back in. He's had a vapor lock, or for some reason the engine has just quit.
The yellow comes out for Ribeiro as he raises his hand and says, "I'm stopped." He